I am your host, Beatle, and I am friends with everyone in Stardew Valley.
I am your host, Krieg, and I am Harvey's most frequent patient.
And you're listening to Junimo Chatter. Today, we thought it could be interesting to have a spoiler-free episode where we talk about all the things that not like it's kind of like tips for newbies in Stardew Valley, but mostly it's just a list of things that I wish that I knew when I started playing because I didn't know anything. I didn't even know that there was a Wikipedia page.
Yes.
That you could Google a lot of stuff on.
Yeah. So all of the beginners that have just started Stardew Valley and somehow happened upon this episode, this is for you, and it's spoiler free.
It's spoiler free. We promise that. In the ending of the episode, there will be like 5 minutes where we talk about some things that are not spoiler free, but we'll disclaim whenever that happens.
Yes.
So, this episode is for all the newbies, and I think we should just get started.
Yeah.
So, I think I've divided it up in all of the what's it called? Categories: farming, fishing, forage, mining, combat, and then general stuff.
Yep.
That I wish that I knew when I started. Mostly I have stuff for farming, which also makes sense because it's like a farming game.
You do a lot of farming, especially in the beginning.
Yeah. And fishing is like, I don't have a lot to that, and that is because of personal.
Fishing is a very beginner-friendly thing to do, if you like it.
Well, I wouldn't call it beginner-friendly at all. I wouldn't. But yeah, I mean, when I started fishing, I hated it. With my my whole, I would rather dance with Lewis at the flower dance than I would fish. I hated it so much. I didn't understand how it could be like a. No, I really I had like a fury rage for it. I really hated it.
I like fishing.
Good for you. I hated it.
Yep.
But no, we'll come to that.
Yes.
First off, we're gonna talk about farming, and I'm guessing that this is not like a episode where we just talk about specifically how do you farm, how do you plant, how do you water. We're guessing that you already know that. It's mostly just tips on what's useful in the situation in the beginning.
Yes.
For example, I didn't know that when you hoe a spot when you want to plant something, and you actually don't need to plant anything there. Like if you have an extra spot that's outside of the 3x5 field that you've hoed.
Yeah, you've already used all of your seeds, but you accidentally hoed one tile too much.
Yeah. So how do you unhoe that? You have to use a pickaxe. The pickaxe actually, but be careful. The pickaxe can unhoe the hoed spot, but it can also unseed the seeds.
It's also called tilt.
Oh yeah, it's called tilting. Yeah. I don't know. You use a hoe. I don't know.
Yes.
Anyways, you use a pickaxe and then you can untilt.
Yes, until
your tile.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. But be careful with that because you can also unseed your seeds.
And
if you knock down the seeds, then they just disappear.
Yeah,
and that also happens to plants. It's not just seeds. It can also happen to plant that's already grown up. So be very careful with it.
The pickaxe just destroys any crop you have in the square you hit with the pickaxe.
Yeah,
mind you.
Exactly. But it's very useful if you want to unhoe some spots that you just don't want to have laying around. Because I remember in my farm in the beginning, I had like a lot of unhoed spot, and I just waited for them to disappear.
Yeah,
same. I didn't know what to do about them. It was kind of annoying. I wish I knew that. I had known about the pickaxe. And yeah, well, I guess you also get that from. I think you got a letter from Evelyn saying that you have to remember to harvest. You have to plan ahead for the crops that you're planting.
Yes.
You have to count the days that it takes for them to grow, and then you have to encounter that in the fact that there's only 25 or 28 days in the season.
Yeah.
So obviously you can't plant something that takes 6 days to grow 4 days before the new season because it will just dry out.
Yep.
Unless it's a seed that I think it's corn. Corn grows both summer and fall.
Yes.
Or sunflowers, they grow summer and fall as well. Or coffee, they grow fall and summer, and they don't grow in fall, but they grow in spring and in summer.
Yeah.
So plan ahead. One thing that has continuously annoyed me and still annoys me to this day is the fact that when you plant cauliflowers on day 1 of spring, and you water it, then they will grow up and be ready to harvest on the 13th of
Oh,
spring. And what
Yeah.
is on the 13th of spring?
that's a Wednesday?
No, it's not a
No?
Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
It's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
But Pierre's not there because there's the flower dance.
Ah.
No. Sorry, not the flower dance. The egg festival.
The egg festival.
So he's not there. So if you go into
yeah.
town, he's selling, strawberry seeds.
Yeah.
But he's not selling cauliflower seeds.
Nope.
So I would just advise strongly. I still don't do it because I forget.
Yep.
But just like if you want to plant let's say like 8 cauliflowers by 16.
Yeah.
So because if you want to put them again, then you can harvest 2 times 8 cauliflowers during the season.
Yes.
And then plant them on the morning of the 13th.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I every time on the 13th, I wake up and I'm like,
Not again.
not again. Not the egg festival. And then I have to oh yeah, by the way, for the egg festival, if you want to win over Abigail, you have to, I think it's 8 eggs you have to collect
Yes.
before you win over her. I think she
that
collects
sounds about
7.
right.
And then you have to collect 8. And apparently it changes
If you're
with the
in
placement of
multiplayer,
them. Yeah, if you're a multiplayer.
if you're in multiplayer, the number of eggs a single person has to find goes down. I believe it's by 2 for every additional player.
Oh, okay. That's kind of smart actually, because there wouldn't be that many eggs to find.
Yeah.
Because everyone is
Yep.
But I think that the placement of them also changes from every second year.
I mean,
I heard that
the
somewhere.
placement does change, but I'm pretty sure it's in certain default spots. But, I mean, if you're new to the game, like the potential listener,
Yeah.
then it doesn't really matter.
I mean, I think it's, usually just play by myself, and then it doesn't change. Most people play by themselves. It's fun to play, 2 or 3, but what I've known is that most people just play by themselves, and then they don't change every year. I know that the Halloween maze changes
Yes.
every second year, which is very good because then it
Yeah.
spices thing up.
A little fresh.
A little fresh, yeah. That's kind of cool. But yeah, buy extra cauliflowers.
Yep.
So you don't stand there and I mean, strawberries are good, but it's just annoying that you can't buy cauliflowers.
Yes.
Speaking of strawberries, I would also recommend planting a lot of buying as many strawberries as you can.
Yes.
And then keep them.
Yes.
Put them in your seed makers whenever you get a recipe for that.
Get seed makers as
Get
fast
seed
as you
makers
can.
as fast as you can. Not as fast as you can get seed makers whenever you want to, but they're pretty good to have, especially if you have strawberries, because then you can make new strawberry seeds and then save them for the next year, so you can just plant all the strawberries, and then because if you look at how much gold they yield per day, per if you count in harvesting and how much the seed costs and how long it takes for them to grow, then I think it's 11 point something G per day if you plant them on the 13th or 14th of fall, or of spring. But if you have them at the beginning of fall, it's actually 20 gold per day, because this
Strawberries are a fall crop, right?
no, it's a spring crop.
No.
It's always been. You buy them on the egg festival.
Yeah. Okay. But don't you buy them in preparation for the next month?
Well, I do, but you can plant them on the 13th of the spring.
So they are a dual? They're good for 2 months?
No, it's just spring.
Okay.
Have you played the game?
Hmm.
Are you an imposter?
Maybe.
No, I mean, yeah, you just plant them in spring. It's it's the same thing in real life.
Okay.
You get strawberries in spring.
That is true.
Well, you get strawberries in May, I think, which is still spring.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever seen a strawberry besides from grocery shops in the
No.
in fall?
No.
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 You'll never think about it.
No.
No. They I can assure you, you can buy them in spring.
I'm just a
And
little
Pierce?
confused.
And I would just recommend, not selling too many of the strawberries and keeping them for seeds
Yes.
for your next
And
spring
I
season.
mean, one good reason to get a seed maker quick is that then you don't need to support Pierre.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. And we will talk about that in another episode, why we would not want to support Pierre.
But spoiler-free tip, we don't like Pierre.
I wouldn't call that a tip. I would just call that a recommendation.
That's a hot tip.
It's a, okay. Yeah.
If you will come to dislike him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Moving on. The watering can.
Yes.
And I was not very smart when I started playing this game. It's a lovely game, and I got introduced to it very good. But I did not know that, first of all, when you upgrade your watering can, you can look at the day, like you wake up and then you can look at the weather report. And if it's raining the next day, you can go water your crops, then give it to Clint for an upgrade. And then it will take him 3 days, but you can get it on the 3rd day. So the first day, it's only covered, what you can say, you only spend a whole day without your watering can on the day that it's raining, and then you can get the watering can the next day. I didn't know that, so I just never upgraded my watering can before winter, which made me, water one tile.
Slowly.
Very slowly. Yeah. I did not get much else done that day, and I lost a lot of energy on that. So
hot tip, use the forecast to time your upgrades.
Exactly. Your watering can. I mean, you don't need it to be raining to not use your your hoe.
You can do that while the crops are growing.
Yeah, exactly. And upgrade your hoe as well as soon as you can, because it's just tiring to go the whole summer. Because in summer you have a little more money than you had in spring.
Yes.
And so you want to plant more crops, but if you only have a hoe that can tilt one tile at a time.
Yeah. So
then
remember to go to the mines and get materials to upgrade your stuff.
Yeah.
It is worth it.
Yes. Okay, so the next thing I want to... Wait, the watering can? Oh, yeah. I don't know if it's just me. It's probably just me. But when I got the, what's it called? The copper can. Yep. Watering can. I was like, oh, what can this do? It holds more water. Oh my god, then I don't have to go to the lake all the time to fill it up. So I just watered one tile at a time, thinking, oh, I just have more water in my watering can. Skip 2. 1 year later in the game, I press on the water, on the, what's it called?
The button.
The button. A little too long, and it waters 3 tiles. And I want to throw my controller into the TV, because I feel so stupid.
For an entire year.
For an entire year, I had been watering just 1 tile at a time while I could water 3.
Yep.
I could have done so much more.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't play that world anymore. Because it's just a world.
Because of that?
No, not exactly. Just more because I played it a lot before it got upgraded to 1.6.
Right.
And now that it's upgraded, it's just filled with stuff that I haven't done.
Yeah.
And I have already I'm playing a new one where I'm on year 5 right now.
Yes.
Trying to get perfection.
Yep. Trying to get perfection.
We'll spoil it. It's okay. So yeah, you can water multiple tiles if you upgrade it. So if you upgrade it to a copper, it can water 3 tiles. If you upgrade it to steel, we use iron, then it can water 5. And then when you upgrade it to gold, it can water 9.
Yep.
In a square. Mm-hmm. And then if you upgrade to
even further,
it can even further. Yeah, and it can water many more tiles.
Many much more.
Yeah. So, the next thing I want to talk about is potatoes. Potatoes. Because when you harvest potatoes, sometimes they yield more than 1 potato. And that actually gives them quite a profit compared to other crops during spring. So my personal recommendation is just to buy a lot of potatoes. Plant a lot of potatoes. Lots of taters.
Okay. You can boil them, mash them.
Put them in a stew. Yeah. But we'll talk about more profits about crops in another episode, which Krieg will be in charge of, because he will do some math.
I'll do some maths.
He'll do some math, and then he'll figure out what's
What's the good stuff?
What's the good stuff? What's the bad stuff? Which crop you shouldn't? Which crops you should? And we'll talk about how efficient can you be?
How efficient can you?
Efficiency.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, but I think that Ape has kind of wanted it to be so that the crops, there's not like a big difference in the profit. Like, because you have potatoes, they give not as big a profit as cauliflowers do, but they also only take half the time to grow.
Yes.
So you get, 2 potatoes per cauliflower.
Most of the crops are somewhat balanced, but there are some that typically also have a different use that would not be good for money. Wheat, for example. You need that for food, for the animals. Wheat? No. Yeah.
Like Cool Whip?
What?
Like
Hay?
cool? Hay.
The thing you make hay
wheat.
out of. Wheat.
You said wheat.
Wheat. Yes.
Sorry.
It's my accent.
No, okay, sorry.
Wheat.
I don't know if you've guessed, but we do not speak English as a first language.
Not natively.
No, not natively. Yeah. Anyways,
the thing you make hay out of. It doesn't sell very well, but you make hay out of it, which you feed to your animals. So that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, we'll talk more about that.
We'll get more
in an episode about like what's profitable, what's not, which crops should you not at all do because you just don't use them anything or whatever.
And why you should not use silos.
Yeah, we'll have to. Anyways, we'll have to discuss that because I strongly disagree. But anyways, moving on to fishing. I'm not gonna talk much about fishing. I think it's mostly because there's not much. I mean, I guess you by now would know that. Okay, well, you can fish different fish in the lake, the mountain lakes, the Cindersap River,
the ocean,
and other
in the mines
as well. You can also fish there.
Pretty much any body of water you can fish in.
Yeah.
But there are some like the lakes or the little ponds on the standard farm. You can only find trash there because how would a fish have gotten in there? Yep.
Yeah. I guess your grandfather maybe didn't have a trash can. He just threw it all in the pond. I don't know.
Apparently.
I mean, we could talk about that as well.
Yeah.
Like maybe your grandfather was a little... Because I mean, but then the thing is, if you go through the mines, you go like in the icy, like on level 40. No, I think it's level 60, where you go to the icy waters and you fish like Joja Cola. And you're like, How did this get here? Especially when you get to level 100 and you fish in the lava lake. And it's just a cola. There's just like, and how did it not melt? But yeah, no. Okay, so I would just recommend to go fishing. I say this as someone who has hated fishing. I promise you it will be worth it.
Yes. In the beginning of the game, fishing is very profitable.
It is. It's very profitable. Because you have to wait for all your crops to grow and you need food because you are running around and you're getting all these resources, wood, stone, all that stuff. And it takes a lot of energy to just cut down, 3 trees with your very bad axe and your very low bar of energy.
Yep.
And so fishing is a really good way to not use too much energy, but still to get profit. And if you really need to, you can just eat the fish that you catch.
Or you can eat the algae that you catch.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
I do that a lot.
Nice. Let's not take too much about it. It's the same thing with the fact that when you get chickens and you get eggs, you can make a mayo.
Yep.
And you can just eat that.
Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with just eating mayo.
In front of the townspeople as well?
Why does it make a difference if it's in front of somebody or not? I'm gonna eat what I'm gonna eat.
Yeah. I guess. Anyways.
Yep.
But yeah, you can. I would recommend just eating maybe some of the stuff that you fish up because you still get experience while fishing, which increases because the thing about fishing is that it's really, really, really hard in the beginning, but it's really only the first couple of days if you spend the whole day fishing.
Yes.
It's gonna be hard, but it's just gonna earn you a lot of XP,
Yep.
which makes it easier to fish
Yep.
the next day, and then you get enough money to buy a better
Fishing rod.
fishing rod, and then it's even easier to catch most.
Yes. And then you get enough skill to be able to craft bait.
Yeah.
And then it's even easier.
Exactly. So it will get easier, I promise you.
Yes.
To all of the people, because I know I am not the only one who hates fishing. I don't think a lot of people hate it as much as I did. I really just despised it.
Someone who
Yeah. I mean, it's still like it's a very fun little mini game you do when you ever play it, but still it's like sometimes it's like stupidly annoying, especially if you have like a fish that's very hard to catch and it keeps bobbing up and down.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's just your bar never gets up and it's just bobbing around all the time, and it ends with that awful sound of like, you couldn't do it. I can't make that sound. Like, I can't do that, but like, you know what sound I'm talking about.
I can put it in post.
You could put it in a post. Yeah. You should do that.
Here's the sound.
That's the sound.
Yep.
Exactly. Anyways, moving on. I don't want to talk more about fishing.
Okay.
I have PTSD. No, I know. But like, yeah. Okay, so forage. Foraging is good. Forage is something you should do a lot of when you're starting your farm, because you can eat a lot of the forage that you get. You can eat the daffodils. You can eat the leeks. The leeks give a lot of energy. And obviously you need them for the community center.
Yep.
When you've opened that. And then I would recommend going to the beach for forage as well. Like shells and coral and whatnot.
Yep. And pro tip, don't throw anything away.
Yeah. I was gonna come to that.
Get to that.
We'll get to that. But yeah, I mean, just in general, harvest forage all that you can do. I know that, and I think a lot of people know this, but Saturdays, or what's it called, Sundays, forage reset. So all the forage that has been building up throughout the valley in the entire week resets on Sundays.
Yeah.
That means on Saturdays, there's the most forage, and that's when you get it.
Yes.
So you don't have to walk around in the valley every day and pick up all the forage there is, because it will all be there and stay there until Saturday. So you can just use that Saturdays and going around and picking it all up, and then spending all the other days.
So Sunday it kind of starts over from a blank slate, builds up until the next Sunday where it starts over.
Exactly. And it actually does the same thing with villagers gifting. So you can only give 2 gifts per villager per week. And then that resets on Sundays as well.
Yes.
So you can basically gift them like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday if you want to.
Yep.
Give them a good weekend.
Yeah.
Whatever. Don't give Pam beer. I know she loves it, but like, don't. I don't think it's. It's not good for her. Neither is it for Shane. Just give him pizza. I know it's more expensive, but just give him the pizza. But yeah, go forage. Pick up the flowers. They're so pretty.
Every Saturday.
Eat them.
Yep.
Whatever. Do your thing. Next up, mining. I've noticed that, I don't know if you have, but when you go knock down the stones, there are some gray, all of the stones that are gray.
Yeah.
Because they're like brown and like, what's it called? Brown and like dark brown stones, and then the gray stones.
Yes.
They're like a little more, not like squared. It's kind of hard to explain now that it's in a podcast.
Yeah.
But they're just stones that look different from all the other stones. They're shaped a little different. They're a little more like shinier, and they're all gray.
Yeah.
Like a different. The gray stones. They yield way more stone than the regular stones.
Oh, okay.
And they also yield more coal.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that if you go to the Wikipedia, you can also read about it. Like, you can read about all the stones there. But they yield more stones. So what I do when I go to the mines, I knock those down because I know I get more stone out of it.
Yes.
And then, sometimes there's a staircase underneath it, and then I just go.
Yeah.
So I would just recommend, like, what's it called? Hitting 2 flies.
Hitting 2 flies with 1 stone.
With 1 stone. 2
birds with 1 stone.
2 birds. Oh, yeah. Sorry. If you want to hit two birds with one stone.
Two units, maybe.
Yeah.
Two birds with one stone.
If you want to hit two stones.
With one bird?
No. If you want to hit
Two stones
two
with
birds
one
with
pickaxe.
one... If you want to hit some stone, then go and hit the grey stone. Because you get more stone out of the grey stone than you do of the other stones. And then...
More stone
That's
per stone.
More stone per stone, and then you also like see if there's any staircases nearby. Yes. I promise we're not stoned. It's Anyways. Let's just not okay.
Let's get
so
our head up
there
from the rocks.
Yes, let's get our yeah. Make some bombs.
Yes.
Krieg. Make a lot of bombs.
Make bombs.
Just make the bombs. Be very careful with the bombs on your farm.
Yes.
Don't.
Oh, absolutely. Just don't have them in your hands on your farm.
No, don't. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can do. No, you can't. You can't handle it. Nobody can.
Yeah, nobody can.
Don't. It's gonna ruin so much.
Everybody thinks they can have a bomb in their hands and walk through the crops, but everybody just drops the bomb in the middle of the crops, and then the whole season's harvest is just gone. It's gone. It's destroyed.
Yeah.
Reduced to atoms. And you can't get it back.
Yeah.
Unless you restart the day. But
yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You could. Yeah. You can always restart the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or you could also just not have the bombs in your hands, and then you don't need to restart the day.
You don't need to waste all that time you used harvesting crops or whatever you did in the morning. But bombs, use the bombs in the mines.
Absolutely.
Use them all the time.
Yes.
And use the small little cherry bomb, like whenever you can, what's it called? Make them. Yeah. You can just, I would recommend just using the cherry bombs because it takes a lot of iron to create,
to make the bigger bombs.
To craft the regular bombs.
Yes.
And iron is just a very important resource for a lot of other things.
Absolutely.
So I would just recommend just using the cherry bombs. The cherry bombs they do quite an okay amount of damage.
Yep. But you don't use the bombs for the damage. Not really.
No, you don't use it. No. But so what I meant was like range.
Yeah.
The range of the bombs. They don't have a lot of range, but they still have like range.
It's fine.
Like if you have an area with a lot of stones, just use the bombs there.
Just use a couple.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Waste, what's it called? Save energy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that was it for mining.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you have anything that you wished you would have known.
Nothing that comes to mind. When it comes to combat, is that the next point?
That is the next point.
All right.
Okay, so combat, I think I knew this kind of early, that when you fight slimes, you can fight them, or it's very beneficial to fight them up against a wall.
Yes.
Because they can't, like, jump away. They don't have a lot of movement when you do it against wall or against stones.
Slimes in particular, they get knocked back a lot. So what you do is you kind of get them into a corner and then you just wail on them.
Yeah.
And then you just, stun lock them, essentially. They can't fight back.
Exactly, yeah.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Does a lot of damage.
Yeah. So yeah. That's basically what I have for combat.
And another combat tip is that a lot of people, myself included, think that you should go for damage. This is more into the future. But for Stardew Valley, in terms of combat, it's really a lot better to spec for defense. So once you get rings and gear, use the defensive stuff. Also, when you get to the perks, just do that. It's better. I don't like it, but it's just better.
Defense all the way.
Yeah.
I've always preferred defense.
Yeah.
Over.
Because if you do it right, you just take no damage, essentially, even from high level monsters.
Nice. Cool. I don't have much else to say about combat. But yeah. There's the general things that I wish that I knew in the beginning. I used to spend a lot of time going down to the traveling merchant, to see if it was there.
Yep.
I did not know that it just appears every Friday and Sunday.
So maybe if the people listening have not even known about the traveling merchant, every Friday and Sunday, south of the farm, if you go
To the Cindersap Forest and
go
to
to
your
the
left.
South Forest, so the south exit of the farm, and then to the left, Friday and Sunday, there will be a traveling merchant.
And she says you will have it from the Gororo Empire.
Yeah.
Which we will talk more about.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll absolutely have to talk about that. She sells stuff that you can use for the community center.
Yep.
Which is very beneficial.
Yes.
It is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
She charges a lot for it. But like if you're
but
like...
it's worth it.
It's worth it. And if you're like, I really don't need a sheep, but you still need the wool for the community center, just buy the wool at her.
Yeah.
Like, check every Friday and Sunday.
Yeah.
And
she has a rotating inventory, so it's something new every time. No guarantee of what it'll be. Also, speaking of the community center, a hot tip is that it can be very hard to keep track of which items you need for the community center. But if you hover your mouse over the item, the little community center icon to the right side of your inventory will jump up and down if it's something you need.
That's correct. And you can go to that little icon and then you can click on it and see, okay, these are all the things that I need. These are all the fish that I need. These are all the crops that I need.
Yep.
And all that. So you can just click on that. And on that note, I would also recommend making a chest specifically for items you need for the community center.
Yes.
Because it's tiring to... I thought it was kind of tiring to go back and forth all the time.
Yeah.
Every time you found something that you needed.
Yeah.
I would just put it, like hover your mouse over it, find out if it's something that you need, and then put it in the chest if you need it. And then you can, whenever you know that now I have enough for completing a bundle, just take it there, and then instead of just going multiple times, you can just keep it in your own little community center chest.
Do it when you have the time. Do it when you have everything for an entire bundle.
So the traveling merchant, Friday and Sunday. And then on Sundays, you can watch TV and see recipes from the Queen of Sauce.
Yep.
She talks about that every Sunday, and then there's a rerun of that recipe on every Wednesday the week after.
Yep.
I didn't know that. I just thought it was random. It was not.
It's not.
It's every Sunday.
Yep.
It also makes sense. It's a cooking show.
Yeah.
It's like every Sunday.
Yeah.
Queen of Sauce. I'm going to tell a little bit about how to make yams. And then there's the fortune teller. The thing is, Krieg, when I started this game, I was like, fortune teller. What's that? What's that? What's that? We don't need that. I don't believe in like astrology, like stuff and like all that. I'm sorry if you do. I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I just don't believe in it. And I thought, okay, that's just whack. Why do I?
Up a bit here.
What's this fortune teller doing? It took me like I think 3 years to find out that it actually matters a lot.
Quite a lot.
What your luck is. If it says the spirits are perturbed today, do not mess with that. Do not go into the mines. Just stay on your farm, harvest, and do stuff that don't require luck.
Yeah.
If you think that something requires luck, it probably does.
Yes.
And then don't do that on unlucky days.
Cracking geodes in particularly.
The thing is, I thought that...
That does require luck.
It does not.
It doesn't?
It doesn't.
Really?
It actually doesn't. It's kind of weird. I thought that too for a long while.
Well,
I was like, every time I had a lucky day, I was like, now it's time to crack some geodes. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, there's just a percentage of chances of getting stuff from each geode.
I am not upset about this information.
I was a little upset when I found out.
Yep, it's a good thing that I'm not.
Yeah, good. But no, I'm sorry, Krieg, but it's not.
Yeah, don't be.
I'm not upset. Yeah, you're not upset.
No.
Good. Well, then we can continue.
Yes.
But yeah, don't mess with the fortune teller. If she tells you that it's a very lucky day, do go into the mines.
Absolutely.
You will get a lot of staircases.
Absolutely.
The staircase ratio is increasing with luck. I know that. Yeah. I think it's just because that I once got a very rare gem on a lucky day, and I thought that was why.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing with some. I think you can find them in the mines as well.
Yeah.
The gemstones, they're like stones where you get like a
Oh yeah,
random
yeah, yeah.
gem.
Yeah.
That doesn't really matter
No.
either.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a very rare gem, and the occurrence of that does not really depend on luck. In some cases, in some stones and stuff, it doesn't really depend on anything on luck. But yeah, we'll talk about that specific.
Speaking of stones, Gunther.
Oh yes, well I kind of don't want to talk too much about that because it's a bit of a spoiler.
That is true.
So I'll save it for the ending.
I think for now we'll just leave it at be very mindful at what you donate to the museum because
It might be something you need.
it might be something you need and it might be something that's very difficult to acquire otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So when you get your farm, you get a visit from Demetrius asking if you want mushrooms or fruit bats.
Yep.
And I was like, fruit bats. What is that?
What is that?
I just want some mushrooms, I guess. Because I was like, fruit bats. I don't want bats in my cave. It's annoying. So I got the mushrooms, and it got me a lot of I just had the normal farm back then,
Yeah.
and it was okay, I guess.
Yeah.
But I would strongly recommend getting the fruit bats.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people. I've just heard in some forums that the people prefer the mushroom cave. I do not get that at all. Get the fruit cave.
Yeah.
You can just complete a lot of bundles in the community center much faster.
It's also easier to get mushrooms through alternative methods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, because you can harvest mushrooms if it's fall, and if you have the forest farm, you just get mushrooms of all kinds on your farm.
But there's also an item like the tree stump.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a new thing in 1.6. I forgot about that.
Which is a lot easier to do than planting fruit trees.
Yeah. Exactly. And you get all kinds of the more I think the stump is like the more wild trees you have growing around it, the more like rare and like
the better the mushrooms.
The better the mushrooms, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I would recommend getting the fruit bats. Obviously you can pick whatever you want, but I just know that I completed the community center.
It's the optimal choice.
It's just the optimal choice because you get a lot of fruits, and you like the fruits are forageables. So you can also get them if you're lucky at like gold quality or silver quality if you pick them up. Yeah. Highly recommending that. Don't ever throw away fiber.
No.
At all. I don't know why I did that in the beginning. I was like, what do I need fiber for? It's just grass. I mean, what do I? And then I made a lot of grass, grass. Starter from it, which was also stupid because I just needed it for so many other things. The fiber, never get rid of it. No. Just don't. Moss either. Keep all the moss that you have. You'll need it later. We promise you.
Yes.
So if you have like a stocked up inventory and you don't know what to throw out, do not throw out the fiber. That's what I did. I thought it was very stupid.
Yep.
But do build chests.
Yes, build chests and try to have some kind of system. Start early with organizing because otherwise it'll get out of hand.
Yeah. Just like get a chest for every like type of what's it called, like category. Like have a nature chest and a mining chest and maybe a forage chest, a crop chest, seed chest, whatever.
Fishing chest.
You can colorize them, or you can color.
Yeah, you can color them.
You can color them, and then you can like, know the difference of the colors of the chests.
Or you can put signs.
You can also put signs. It's what you do in Minecraft, but like, I just prefer like coloring them.
Yeah.
And you can move the chest even if it's filled up. You can move it by going to an empty slot and then knocking on it like with your use bar, with your use button, and then you can just like move it on the side that you're pushing it to. For some reason, you're actually losing energy on that. But it's not a lot. You just lose a little bit of energy.
And what you can also do, if the chest is like up against the wall, and it's also blocked off to either sides, you can still push the chest into the wall, and then it will actually jump a square forward.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can, like, if you're knocking it into something, it will go to the left or to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think it's, I don't know if that is, it's probably general as well. I noticed that, so when you knock down trees, I didn't know which way it was when I started, and you don't want it to fall, like, near a lake.
Yeah, you don't want to fall it off the map or into water.
Yeah. And it depends on the pixels. Like, if you're standing right next to the tree, like, right in front of it, you have to, like, stand next to one side, and then it will fall to the other side.
Yeah.
Because it's programmed so that you stand the furthest away from where it falls.
Yes, the tree falls away from you.
Yeah, which is makes sense.
What you should do in real life.
Exactly. So it makes sense that that's also what you do in the game.
Yeah.
Just so you know that you can, like, move a little bit, and then you can, like, actually control which way you want the tree to fall, which is very smart.
Very smart.
Yes. And then gifting the townspeople.
Yep.
There's a lot of benefits from a lot of townspeople. I would recommend becoming good friends with Evelyn, the old lady who lives with that George in the wheelchair. He's a little grouchy, but he likes leeks.
Yep.
Give him a lot of leeks.
He'll love you for it.
He'll love you for it. I would recommend becoming friends with Caroline, Pierre's wife. She gives you a recipe if you go into her special room.
Yep.
She will give you a recipe for something, and I think it was before 1.6. Ape changed it, unfortunately.
Oh.
But the recipe for that item, the item sold for 500 G.
Oh, damn.
So, and her, one of the things that you can give her that she likes is sweet pea, which is just like a normal flower you can forage. So you just give her a lot of that, and then you get 2 hearts with her. You get the recipe for the item, and then people just, like, made a lot of it because it was easy to make.
Yeah.
And then they sold it for a lot of money. You get a lot of money.
But that has been hit with the balance hammer.
It has. Now it's just, like, halved in the sell price.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's really annoying. I remember doing that at one point in the beginning of my new game, and I was like, that's not a lot of money. What's this about? It's actually because you changed it. It makes sense. I mean, it's kind of a rigged thing that it's sold for so much before he changed it, but yeah, it was still annoying because it's quite a good way to get a lot of money in the beginning of the game. So I would put that on, like, a list of what you should do if you play 1.5. But I guess most people now just play 1.6.
Yeah.
It's the newest one.
Yeah.
So, but about gifting in general, you can, if you want to, like I did, just go to the wiki page. Google, like, what does Sam like? I don't know.
What?
Who likes what? And just do that.
Yeah.
But then again, you can also kind of guess it from their personalities. Like, for example, Pam and Shane, they go to the saloon.
They like beer.
They like beer.
And alcohol.
And alcohol in general.
And potato juice.
Juice.
Which is definitely not vodka.
No, it's potato juice.
It's potato juice.
That's what it says.
Yeah.
That's what it says, Krieg.
Just a little fermented.
Yes. Fermented potato juice.
Yep.
Exactly. And I think, like, if you look at it, mostly the older ladies, they like diamonds. The kids don't like vegetables.
Nope.
So they hate that if you give it to them. And yeah. So, like, look for their personality and kind of, like, guess, or like Pierre, the store manager, he likes expensive stuff, so don't bother.
Don't bother.
Just
with
don't
Pierre.
bother. And Abigail, she's, like, very much into like what's it called, like combat monsters and like
Crystals.
No, that's Emily.
Yeah, but she still likes
Amethysts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's because it's purple.
Yeah.
Like her hair.
And she definitely doesn't eat them.
The amethysts?
Yeah.
No.
Definitely.
I don't think that's why her hair is purple.
Oh, no,
We're
that's
gonna
not it.
talk about that, why her hair is purple.
Separate episode.
It is another separate episode. I'm sorry if we're talking about a lot of separate episodes, but it's just teaser, so you can listen to more.
Yes. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. But yeah, no. Look at like for example, Penny, Sam's or not Sam. What's it called? Pam's daughter.
Pam's daughter.
If you give her beer, she will hate you
Yes.
because, as you can guess, she's not very fond of her mom's
Habits
of going to the saloon every day.
Yep.
Yeah, but you can look for that. Like, for example, the older women, they like diamonds. Almost all girls like flowers. There's like some things that are like, going through. There's some people who like Dimitri and Maru likes strawberries. So like if a parent of someone likes something, their daughter or son probably does as well. Yeah, stuff like that.
Man.
But
it's a good thing Pam doesn't have a car.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good thing she doesn't drive anything. Huh.
Yeah. Huh.
That's a good thing.
That is good.
That is very good. She should just stay in the
trailer.
Yeah. So like the real way is to like analyze the people's habits and their personality.
Yeah.
Give them gifts after that, but you can also just go to the Wikipedia because there are just so many people. And they don't give you anything.
Nope.
You have to give them at least like 4 gifts before they actually send you something in the mail.
And even then, they send you some really weird stuff.
Yeah, they do. Sometimes it's useful. Sometimes it's just whack.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, Linus, the homeless man, obviously he likes forage because he chooses to live. When you get to know him a little more, you know that he chooses to just live like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, as Krieg said, keep one of each item.
Yep.
No matter what it is.
Yep.
I mean, there's some like artifacts that I would just give. Like if you get artifacts that says give it to Gunther, just give it to Gunther.
If it says artifact on it.
Yeah.
If it's not an artifact, but it says Gunther can tell you more about this, don't give it to him. Wait until you have 2.
Yeah, I think it's you can either give him artifacts or gems.
Yes.
And if it says artifact, just give it to him. It's
Unless
fine.
it's a doll. Don't give him the dolls.
Yeah.
You can do something with them.
You can do Yeah. Okay.
Let's just keep it at that.
Beside the dolls, and there's also a specific egg.
Yes.
That you might get at some point.
Don't give him any eggs.
Don't give him any eggs.
No.
Yeah. No, just keep
don't.
them. But like all other artifacts, despite except for those.
Except for all of the stuff that you should keep, you can give him everything.
Yeah. Just think twice.
Yes.
Before you go to him, I guess. And then you can, of course, as you said, click on the little tree that you have on the side and like look at the community center, what you need to donate there.
From the inventory.
Yeah. So again, keep everything that you get. Like keep at least 1 item of each thing. It might be used for like a gift for someone. It might be used for.
Maybe you get a thing later that, like a machine that uses the thing that you have.
Yeah.
Or you get some recipe that needs the thing that you have, and the thing that you have is actually really hard to get in the quantities that you need for the things that you want to craft.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Krieg. He's got it right. No, yeah, but like just keep one of each item. And yeah. I mean, when you go to the mines, you can get dwarf scrolls. I would strongly recommend just giving those to Gunther.
Oh yeah, the dwarf scrolls. Give them to Gunther, and then just give them to the dwarf afterwards.
Yeah, he likes them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, look at the people that you're like in town with and see. Okay, well, the dwarf, he probably likes dwarf scrolls.
Yeah.
How about that?
How about that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And then the last thing, which is something that I think this is the thing that I wish the most that I knew about. Underneath, when you go to like a chest, underneath the color palette, there's an arrow. There's a little item like thing with an arrow on it that says add to stocks. I had no idea what that was for. I think I played 6 years in my first game without knowing what that was for. It takes all of the items in your inventory that also exists in the chest, moves all of them into the chest.
From your inventory, it moves it into the chest if the items are already in the chest.
Yeah. So if you have a chest full of mining stuff, you have a chest full of copper ores, iron ores, stone, whatever.
Yep.
You just went mining a whole day, and it's like 1 a.m. and you have to hurry a little bit, and you want to like get rid of all the stuff in your inventory, you can just push that little arrow, and you can get it all up in the chest in no time.
A lot with sorting.
Exactly. I mean, you don't lose time on going in inventory because I don't know if
you're in multiplayer.
Unless you're in multiplayer, it's really, really, really beneficial in the multiplayer because it doesn't pause when you go to inventory. But in normal, like a singular player, you pause it when you go. But it's still just so time consuming, pressing on each item, trying to get it all in the chests. So that is my, I think, last advice. And
best.
The best, I want to underline it in red. That's the best thing that you can do. Add to stocks. You probably maybe already knew this because you're smarter than me, but I just really wish I knew that. Just add to stocks. You can add all of your items in the chests. Yeah. I think that was it.
I will be looking forward to editing this.
It got quite long, I can see. But yeah, I mean, I think I want to end this with saying that there are a lot of other things that I didn't know that I probably should have talked about that I maybe haven't really thought much about. I mean, there's a lot of tips online on the forums and on the Wikipedia, like you can go and look at, and also look in the game, like all the on if you've gone so far. So I think I want to enter the spoiler section now.
Yes.
So spoilers ahead. On winter in the first year, you get to meet Krobus, who gives you a magnifying glass.
You have to find him first.
You have to find him first, and then he gives you a magnifying glass. Yeah. With that, you can find secret notes, and although these secret notes, you can also find a lot of gifts for people.
And to find Krobus, just follow the footprints.
Yeah, follow the footprints.
And he'll be behind the bush.
Yeah. All of these secret notes, some of them contain stuff about what people like. So they contain like a list of maybe what Abigail likes or something like that. And then when you get that note, it also goes under whenever you go to the people. It puts, like if you have never, like, okay, let's say Penny, for example. She likes melons. But if you've never given her a melon, you can't see that she likes that. But if you get the secret note about it, that she likes melons, then you know, then it shows up on that underneath Penny that she likes melons. Otherwise, when you give people something that they love or they like or they hate, it still gets in that place.
Yeah, you can see it.
You can see it by their icon.
Just click around in your inventory. Or not the inventory, but like...
And now that we are with spoilers, the very secret, the very rare gem is the prismatic shard.
Yes.
The prismatic shard is, besides the tea set, the most rare item in the game.
Yep.
And if you get it and it says donate this to Gunther,
don't
do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Take it to the desert.
Yeah.
Go to the
3 pillars.
The 3 pillars, and just take it there. See what happens.
See what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the dinosaur egg. If you get that, it says donate to Gunther. Don't do it.
Don't.
You get a coop, and in that coop you have an incubator, and in the incubator you can place eggs. Surprise, you can also place the dinosaur egg there.
Yeah.
Just do it, then you get more dinosaurs, they lay more eggs, take one of them, donate to Gunther.
Yeah.
Take all the other eggs, make it to mayonnaise.
Yep.
And you have dinosaur mayonnaise, which you're also gonna use later on in the game. And with that, I think we must conclude this episode.
Alright. Call to action. We still don't have any audience questions. But if you're listening to this on Spotify or YouTube, which you will be, then write a comment if you have any questions for us, which we will answer. And while you're there, go give us a like, hit subscribe, ring that bell. You have been listening to Junimo Chatter.
I've been your host, Beatle.
And I have been your host, Krieg. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.